So my favorite part about dating is you like find somebody you like, you go on one date and it's like good, and you're like, let's go on a second date. So then you go on a second date and you're vibing and you're like, hey, let's go on a third date, and it's going good, and you're like, I'm looking for a relationship and I'm also looking for a relationship. I'm tired of being single and this whole dating thing, because Nashville dating sucks. And then you go on a fourth date and you're like, yes, I'm totally into it. You're totally into it. Awesome. You introduce them to your friends. They introduce you to their friends. It's going great. And then you go on a fifth date and you're like, wow, I'm finally not having to go back on the apps. This is amazing. And then that person's like, just kidding. I am not looking for a relationship and I am a fearful avoidant and I'm running the other way as fast as I can. Yeah, that's my favorite part about dating. It's great. You should move to Nashville and date. It's amazing.
You're much more attractive with your mouth shut.
Well, it seems like we can add the great city of Nashville, Tennessee to our list of Chad's natural habitats. Here we're gonna find Wyatt, the aspiring country musician who's able to turn holidays like the 4th of July and consuming cheap beer into a romantic art form. He's got that deep masculine voice, which is perfect for serenading. His acoustic guitar has just enough wears, tears, and scratches to make him look dedicated, and his boot, belt buckle, and hat game are all on point. And depending on the market for modern women over 30, he can either go with the traditional worn-out cowboy hat or a trucker cap, depending on the occasion. Now, his ability to actually be able to ride a horse, drive a tractor, and his ownership of a pickup truck will all be brought into question, but the fact that he gives off the impression that he can actually do all of those things is more than enough to make these women think they have a chance of becoming a country girl by proxy. It's one hell of a racket for guys like Wyatt, who prove that even if he doesn't have friends in low places, it really doesn't matter. He knows what it takes to play with an achy breaky heart. And before you say anything, those are literally the only 2 country references that I know, so give a guy a break, will ya?
You don't mess around with God's America.
How to know if something's meant for you or if the universe is blocking it in your favor. Let's get into it. I am very stubborn. I'm a Sagittarius, and what I want, I get, I manifest, I do all the things. And in my younger years, I would push through whatever, thick and thin, so that I could put my hands on whatever it is that I wanted. And most of the time after I got it, I was kicking myself because it was more of a headache, heartbreak, or whatever, just negative. It wasn't good. And I spoke to this psychic one time, and she said to me, she was like, Ashley, I know you wanted this, but the universe blocked it from you like 3 times in weird ways. I was like, that's actually really true. And she says, that's something to remember. If you want something that should come so easy and weird stuff starts happening and it happens 3 times, the universe is telling you it's a no. Leave it, drop it.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but there is no big lie. There is no system. The universe is indifferent.
Woman, you're seriously gonna need to cut back on the boxed wine because it's quite literally destroying the last parts of your brain that are still functional. I mean, you're trying to justify being a walking, talking contradiction here. I mean, in the same statement, you said that you're stubborn and that you always get what you want, yet you waste your money on psychics and surrender to the idea that the universe is trying to stop you from getting what you want. So which one is it? Because it can't exactly be both. If you're really into manifesting, doesn't that mean that you're in control of the universe to give you what you want? So why do you have the power to alter your own reality, usually for the worst, but the universe also has the power to block you? How in the hell is that supposed to work? You can't take credit for controlling the universe when it suits you and then surrender to it when it doesn't. Because there's lazy cop-outs and then there's what you're trying to pull, sweetheart.
Yeah, that checks out. That sounds about right.
Something you have to be okay with if you are going to get a divorce, especially if you're the one that's initiating the whole divorce process and your partner does not want a divorce. You have to be okay with being the villain in their story and a lot of other people's stories. Like, I wish I would have been told that at the beginning of my whole process, however, 2.5 years ago at this point. I learned it on my own and learned it through therapy, but I wish I would have been kind of warned about that in the beginning, that you just have to be okay with being the villain. Because a lot of time, not that there even has to be a villain, like there doesn't have to be a good guy, bad guy. Some situations aren't like that. But oftentimes when you're the villain in their story, it's a deflection of their behavior and like lack of being able to hold themselves accountable. So that's just my little piece of advice today for the divorce community on TikTok. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Evil! Pure and simple from the 8th dimension!
Alright, let's think about this for a second, sister. You initiated the divorce and your husband didn't want to. This typically implies that you divorced him for crap reasons and decided that breaking your husband financially, emotionally, and spiritually was more important than trying to make the marriage work. And assuming you have children, you denied your own children access to their father and uprooted their lives just because you needed to be happy. And then to add insult to injury, you expect your husband to pay you for all of that privilege. So you did this for purely selfish reasons and didn't care for the feelings of anyone else involved. So how exactly are you not the villain here? You can't even name one redeeming thing about yourself. That's because you're like that one can of off-brand soda at the bottom of the garbage bag. You're dented, you smell horrible, you're questionably sticky, and only redeemable in ways that are a complete pain in the ass. And you end up being in the garbage with the rest of the cans that nobody wants. Nobody likes you, and everybody blames you for the destruction that you caused for your own amusement, and that is what makes you the villain, woman.
Wish I could stay, but I got a thing. Bye.
Men actually loved women when we cooked and we cleaned and we raised the children and we did everything for him. If that actually earned us a man's love, then so many men would still have those kinds of wives, and so many of us women would still be willing to be that wife. The thing that so many men are missing because they missed out on their chance for a indentured servant is that so many of us women have been in these relationships and they didn't work out because the men do not love us and they do not respect us. Men simply cannot have a high self-esteem if his wife is doing everything for him and taking care of him to that capacity. And if a man does not have a high self-esteem, he is going to act out. Women have learned firsthand again and again and again that when you give too much to a man, he hates you. And complain that women don't want to give men a chance. We don't want to date men who are short or ugly or this. We've done it. We have done it. We have dated every kind of man and we have done everything for these men. And we learned.
I don't think any of that's true.
Woman, just say that you run through. Everybody knows it, so you might as well try to save yourself some embarrassment here. We all know that when you're talking about giving ugly men a chance, you're not exactly referring to the proud members of the illustrious Bottom 95% Club. Your heart is filled with so much hate that even if you did agree to date one of us, you'd spend the entire evening picking apart our flaws and finding reasons to accuse us of being white slavers, which really doesn't make any sense. How can we be the evil oppressors of women when you're the ones going out of your way to smack talk us? You don't even give us a time of day until you're so used up and desperate that we're the last option, and even then you're so bitter that you need to project it onto us for no reason. And it sucks to be you, darling, because a lot of us are really awesome dudes. We have cool hobbies, skill sets, and a lot of us know how to make a really mean pot of chili. But you're never gonna find out because you hate us so much and we're so indifferent towards you that we don't even deem you as chili worthy. I gotta tell you, lady, once we deem you unworthy of the chili, there's no going back from that.
I'm serious about this stuff.
Being an adult is f***ing awesome because I can do whatever I want. I just got myself a Happy Meal because I wanted it. Chicken nuggets from Wendy's and a small chili because I wanted it. Queso loaded chicken burrito from Del Taco because I wanted it. That's why dating people is hard, because it's like, I would go to the ends of the earth to make this happy, this being me. But other people wouldn't do that. Come on. I would do anything for this help. If you're dating somebody and you're like, oh, I want Del Taco, but I also want Taco Bell. And then what if they told you, oh, well, let's just go to Taco Bell? No, wrong answer. You say, okay, we go to both. Hello?
And that's an interesting thing about mathematics, is when you're 50% right, you're 100% wrong.
You know what, sister? I'll meet you halfway. Being an adult does have its cool moments. Whether it's having fun with Nerf blasters or being able to go to a rated R movie on a school night whenever you want, yeah, being an adult is pretty cool. But Happy Meals? Woman, that's not something to brag about. That's kind of embarrassing. So is traveling to 3 different fast food joints to buy $60 worth of food that there's no way you're gonna eat in one sitting. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone on record saying that dudes will go through an insurmountable amount of hell if it means getting a really good meatball sandwich out of the deal, but that's not the same thing. Especially when you're demanding that men go to no less than 3 different fast food joints just to get you junk food. That's not making you happy. That's making you a spoiled brat. And that's why men don't want to date you, sweetheart. Well, that and you order Happy Meals to make you happy. That's just not a good look for you, darling.
Just remembered I get a toy in my Happy Meal. Ooh, a toy I hit. I'm so excited. Wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. No! 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 Oh, wait. Oh, is this my toy? Oh, I'm so excited. This is why I got the Happy Meal. Oh my god, and this is so cute. I want to keep that. It's all wrapped up. Oh, shut the fuck up! This is so cute! Shut the fuck up. Anyways, go treat yourself today.
Lady, you're scaring us.
So not only are you terrible with your money, you also have an insatiable hunger for junk food, and you feel entitled to men wasting their time to feed you that junk food, and you scream like a petulant child over the possibility that your Happy Meal didn't come with that cheap piece of plastic that was molded by slave labor. You know, that makes me feel less guilty over wanting to buy one of those really cool Nerf shotguns that actually load up and eject shells. Yeah, it does cost significantly more than junk food, but at least it does less damage to the arteries. That, and you don't have to order them off the kiddie menu either, which is why it's so cool to be a dude sometimes, because we actually know how to have fun, which is a concept that is so lost on these women that they have to degrade themselves into buying Happy Meals just to make them feel any form of joy in life.
Man, you are one pathetic loser. No offense.
There's more people who are single than ever, like in history. And just in my life and my community, there have been just one after another people breaking off engagements or getting divorced. And I don't know for sure what God is doing. Yes, I think that it is an aligning of values. If people are in a relationship where one person's on fire for God and one person's not, I think God wants to rebalance those things and put equally yoked relationships together, of course. But on the other hand, singleness in itself can be a gift. I know that if your relationship is broken off, you're probably fearing, I don't want to be single, even though Paul says it's good. And yes, it is good, but that's not what I'm getting at.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
You know, I've gone on record multiple times saying that I don't think it's smart of me to be speaking on behalf of the bro in the sky, but I also don't think it's a good idea to be using the brobel as an excuse to try to break up families. I mean, you keep forgetting that a pillar of your faith is that humans have free will. And if humans have free will, how can it be the dude in the sky is convincing women to divorce their husbands in droves? That kind of goes against the whole principle of swearing a lifelong vow of loyalty to a man, especially when you swear that oath in the name of the dude upstairs. Why would that guy want you to do that only for you to turn around and break your oath and in the process using his name in vain in one of the worst ways possible? That doesn't make any sense, sister. And you're also conveniently forgetting that whole Garden of Eden thing where Eve was influenced by the serpent to eat from the tree of knowledge, which proves that you have free will and are easily tempted by darker forces. That's not the plan, sweetheart. It's your inability to adhere to the tenets of your faith that you claim to love.
There is no person more on fire for Jesus than a person with an absolutely broken heart and shattered dreams. I know from experience, I see my friends in my community, their experience. If God wants warriors, he is going to take the absolutely most broken-hearted people. Scripture says God is close to the brokenhearted, and he is. So the brokenhearted end up becoming these vessels for the Spirit, and they become so on fire for God because you have nothing else. So I just wonder if it's going to be these brokenhearted people who are going to help start a revival, nationwide revival, worldwide revival. Just thought. Love you. Jesus loves you.
Blasphemer!
Well, no, I really don't see a revival of that happening at all. And that's because modern women are slaves to their emotions, they're irrationally impulsive, and you get bored easily. With you, joining the church is like falling madly in love for the first time. It's great in the beginning, I'm sure it feels wonderful, it feels right, and everything's just perfect. But here's the problem. That feeling, yeah, it doesn't last forever. The novelty wears off, and it wears off quickly, and then you end up moving on to the next emotional high instead of focusing on trying to build a stronger and deeper connection with God. Having faith is a lifelong exercise of patience, reflection, and hard work, which are three things that aren't exactly a modern woman's strong suit, and there's nothing easy about it. But we're already starting to see modern women get frustrated when they find out that God is not the Amazon Prime version of a dating app. They won't spread the word because they're too busy resenting God for not delivering unto her soulmate. So it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if we see these born-again ladies adding God to the list of men who've let her down in her life, because even when she's trying to worship the guy who literally created all of existence, she still needs to figure out a way to make her the center of the freaking universe.
Okay, God, let me have it!
It's not all men, are we sure? Every single experience I have with a man reinforces the idea that it is all men. That's racist! Everyone I know has a story about a man doing them dirty. Every one of your mamas has a story about being done dirty by a man. The older I get, the more I just think it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get married. It's not worth it to have kids with these people. Like, it's just not worth it. Living with a man, seeing a man every day, going on vacation with a man, I don't know. Maybe I'm black-pilled. I don't want to do that. I'm 27 and I am such a proud advocate for all the women that came before me that didn't have the options that I have.
What?
Well, ain't that just convenient? Everybody you know has been done dirty by someone else, so therefore all men are evil. Alright, woman, I'll play. I'm gonna give you 27 intergalactic space bucks, entirely in pennies, if you can name me one example of a woman who has never been done bad by anybody, regardless of the genderisms. Hell, I'll even allow you to double your chances and name a man who's never been done dirty by anybody. And you can't, and that's because you can't gatekeep men being bastards to people, just as much as we don't gatekeep women being bastards to us. And that's because people do each other dirty all the damn time. We all have a story, and unless the person in question is a lawyer or some form of a government clerk, we don't go blaming the entire institution for the crap pulled by one person. You do that because you need to justify your inexplicable hate towards us, and that's kind of pathetic.
But as someone who has the option to not get married and have children and cohabitate with a man, the older I get, the less likely it looks like it's gonna happen. Like, and I'm proud of that. There's gonna be people in the comments saying, oh, well, enjoy your childless cat life. Thank you. I'm the first woman in my bloodline that has had that option. I don't know. Every single experience, every date that I go on, every friendship that I have with a man, it's all men. It's literally all men.
Whoa, that is some deep dish racism, motherfucker.
Woman, your ancestors would be rolling around in their graves right now. They are not happy for you. They're confused, they're betrayed, and most likely embarrassed. Your ancestors suffered, like legit suffered. Outside of harsh winters that ended in the deaths of their children, there was starvation, plagues, bandit attacks, wars, and countless other disasters. They toiled to ensure the safety and well-being of their children so they could continue the legacy and keep moving on. And what you've done is ignored all of their suffering and decided that because some men hurt your poor little fifis, that you're going to completely sever their legacy and render all that they fought for to be completely meaningless. And you're willing to take it one step further in dishonoring the memories of your ancestors by saying that your right to work a job that you hate, eat junk food while drinking by yourself is the life that they would have wanted for you. Woman, you not only failed, but you failed so hard that you pretty much erased your family name from existence. That's not our fault, nor is it anything to be proud of. And we're not about to forget about the fine members of the bounty board over on Patreon. And don't ask me how I know this, but these are the types of folks you want to know if you ever need a flathead screwdriver when all you got is drawing up Phillips. And for that, I salute you. All hail. If you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the bounty board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. Links in the pinned comment down below if you want to check it out. And that's going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.